I've actually been trying to find a balance. It's been really tough and hectic, but everyone says once you get a hang of it, it becomes better. And I don't know, but I'm hoping to find a balance soon because it's really been hectic. But you've been in the job industry for a long time, so I think you would know better. Sindio.
Huh? What time is it? I need to catch up on Leadership Forum. Did they have a radio here? Never mind. I brought my own.
No way. You can't be serious. Wait, why do you have a radio and you can just catch up with the shows on Hope FM podcasts?
Really? Even Meet of the World?
I mean, you can find them on whatever platform, name it. AfriPods, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, you name it.
But I'm not subscribed on any of them.
So no worries. You can just check out the latest episodes on hopemediakenya.org.
You can now listen to select Hope FM programs on your favorite podcast streaming platform or directly on our website, www.hopemediakenya.org. Listen and live.
Good evening. You're just in time for Newswatch tonight. Many thanks for your company as we bring you the latest in the news. My name is Melissa Oduor, together with Boniface Muredi. Newswatch begins now. President William Ruto has called on the National Police Service, NPS, and the judiciary to work together for the common good of the Kenyan people. Speaking during the launch of reforms of the police and the Kenya prisons in Nairobi, the president appeared to wade into the tiff between the acting Inspector General of Police Gilbert Masengeli and Chief Justice Martha Koome, where he emphasized the need to avoid disputes that could hinder service delivery. And as part of these reforms, the government is implementing significant changes in the security sector, starting with a 40% salary increase for police officers in the lowest ranks. Grace Sahati reports.
In a bid to transform the country's security services, President William Ruto has launched a comprehensive strategic framework for the National Police Service, prisons, and the National Youth Service (NYS). This follows a report presented in November 2023 by a task force led by former Chief Justice David Maraga, which highlighted critical issues such as low pay, poor working conditions, and rampant corruption within the security sector.
I take this opportunity to affirm my full commitment to oversee these reforms and ensure that they are implemented to achieve the transformation of our security services into models of public trust and efficiency. Together, we have an opportunity to collaborate and to make sure that these reforms go beyond mere changes in policy and deliver meaningful improvements that will endure and inspire generations that will come after us.
During the launch in Nairobi, Ruto urged the National Police Service (NPS) and the judiciary to collaborate for the common good of the Kenyan people. The president appeared to be hinting on the ongoing tiff between Acting Inspector General of Police Gilbert Masengeli and Chief Justice Martha Koome, where he stressed the importance of avoiding disputes that could hinder effective service delivery.
I am acutely aware that the National Police Service is an independent institution, and so is the judiciary. But ultimately, we have one master, the people of Kenya. And we must make sure that we work together towards serving not interests of individuals, but the collective interest of the people of Kenya.
Additionally, President Ruto has reignited discussions on the urgent need to digitize physical records in the security sector, aiming to enhance efficiency, transparency, and accountability within these institutions.
We must onboard the digitization of police services, National Youth Service, and also our prison service. The legendary OB must be in digital form so that it is known if a Kenyan has been booked for whatever reason, it must be documented in a manner that cannot be tampered with.
Reporting for Hope TV Newswatch, I'm Grace Ahati.
Thank you, Grace, for that report. Now, government pathologist Johansen Oduor has confirmed that all the bodies from the Hillside and Darasha Academy fire tragedy have been matched with samples from their respective parents. Oduor was speaking during the release of the DNA results of the 21 bodies of the pupils who perished in the fire. He said samples from the victims and those from the parents have been successfully matched, and the process of releasing the bodies to the parents will now commence. The school has announced that all the pupils who died in the tragedy will be buried next week after a memorial service is held at Moega grounds in Kenny constituency. The school owner, David Kenya Wambugo, has meanwhile announced that the number of pupils who will be boarding at the school will now be reduced.
So today here at Narumoru Hospital, we have a pleasure to announce that we've received the results of DNA of the 21 victims of fire which took place at Darasha Hillside Academy, and all the 21 students have now been identified through DNA. We are now in a process of contacting the relatives. We have a team made up of DCI and Red Cross and counselors so that we can have them come and reunite with their loved ones as we are preparing for the next process of assisting them in the way they are going to bury the bodies. Yes. What actually, from the report of the government chemist, they were able to match the samples which were obtained from the bodies of the victims and samples which were obtained from the parents. And from the results which I have, it indicates that the students actually are children of the parents who are matched with them. Yes. All of them 21.
And the government says it is ready to roll out the social health insurance from October the 1st, even as it faces the challenge of numbers that have been registered so far. In an engagement with the media on the rollout expected in the next 12 days, the Ministry of Health officials said so far only 1.2 million Kenyan households had registered, but were optimistic the numbers would rise before the official rollout. Consequently, the ministry and the Council of Governors are seeking new ways of enticing Kenyans to register, with goodies being proposed as an enticement for those, especially in the rural areas, to register. Council of Governors Health Committee Chairperson, who is Tharaka Nithi Governor Muthomi Njuki, says the use of community health promoters is not enough in registering over 44 million Kenyans still not in the SHA bracket, and asked the government to now come up with innovative ideas that will drive a call to action. An impending court case challenging the implementation of the new scheme, meanwhile, threatens its rollout, with a ruling expected this Friday. Health Cabinet Secretary Deborah Mulongo Barasa wants Kenyans to focus their energies in registering for SHA, arguing that it would be a way out of the health problems facing Kenyans.
For our proposal as Council of Governors, let's think of an arrangement where it is possible to have drugs through a funded system to the counties. Do you have banks that are willing to do that? Who will give us a guarantee? Can the national government talk to friendly banks and tell them, as long as money is going to drugs, pay KEMSA for this county, and the exchequer is released, you will be the first charge. If you have an arrangement like that, there will always be drugs in the facility. The doctors and the nurses will always be paid. But as long as we are relying on a system which delays exchequer for 3 months, our medical needs for Kenyans cannot wait for 3 months to be met.
CEO has talked about empowerment and contracting of foreign healthcare providers so that services that are available in country then can be provided in a structured way. We will be able to negotiate with the foreign providers of these services and come up with figures that are agreeable and are in line with the international standards to ensure that we get value for money for our investment.
Senators have sharply criticized the National Treasury Cabinet Secretary John Mbadi for failing to appear before the Senate today to respond to key national financial questions. Nairobi Senator Edwin Sifuna expressed his frustration, citing Mbadi's absence as disrespectful to the Senate and unacceptable for someone of his stature. This is, however, not the first time a cabinet secretary has missed the Senate session. And as Kennedy Kimani now reports, Mbadi's no-show is part of a growing trend where key cabinet secretaries have failed to appear before the Senate, raising concerns over the commitment of cabinet secretaries to their constitutional responsibilities.
Is it in order, Mr. Speaker, for Senator Edwin Sifuna to claim that a proper Kenya Kwanza minister has no regard for Parliament? Can he table any fact, Mr. Speaker?
Honorable John Mbadi must be called to order. This is not the John Mbadi I knew. I don't know what they have done to him. He used to respect Parliament.
Tensions flared in the Senate chambers on Wednesday after the National Treasury Cabinet Secretary John Mbadi failed to appear before lawmakers for questioning.
I'm the Minister for Finance for the whole country.
Mbadi, who had previously confirmed his attendance at the Senate, failed to appear, leaving senators with unanswered questions on critical national issues. According to a letter from the Treasury, Mbadi's absence was due to a crucial meeting at State House, Nairobi.
When you are required to appear before either a committee of Parliament or a plenary sitting of Parliament, then everything else must stop. Mr. Speaker, this is just plain reading of the law. And you know, when now I see my brother, my very good friend, the Senator of Kericho, who is also the majority leader, getting emotional and saying that Senator Sifuna should be taught a lesson. Mr. Speaker, I'm wondering, between Senator Sifuna and the CS for Treasury, who needs to be taught certain lessons? Mr. Speaker, if one minister fails to appear, is it a statement of fact, as Senator Wambua is stating, that Kenya Kwanza ministers do not honor summons to this house? I think this minister is, almost every cabinet minister has come to this house more than 100 times, Mr. Speaker. You know, half the time, first of all, the minority side began by boycotting this exercise. They never used to appear. Probably that's why they don't know that ministers have been coming to this house.
Nairobi Senator Edwin Sifuna's disappointment
And attend to the matters in the House first.
stemmed from the fact that Mbadi, who is now a member of the Kenya Kwanza administration, had previously worked closely with him at the ODM party, where they served as Secretary General and Chairman respectively. Sifuna accused the CS of neglecting the Senate in favor of other commitments, claiming that Mbadi had quickly adopted what he termed as a Kenya Kwanza cabinet secretary's attitude of disregarding the Senate.
There is no way a cabinet secretary can send a letter to you seated in the chair this morning. I am very shocked because you see, Honorable Chair, we woke up very early in the morning to come and attend this session. The question that I was supposed to put to CS Mbadi is a question that is over a year old. It has taken him less than 2 weeks to become a proper Kenya Kwanza cabinet secretary who has no respect for this house. Honorable Chair, we cannot allow this because we want to engage with these CSs. He cannot tell us, and I have heard in this house before, people saying that when Kibaki was president, if there was a matter before Parliament and another one before State House, the precedent was that you come and attend to the matters in the House first. I want to tell John Mbadi that this is unacceptable. This is unacceptable, totally unacceptable, when he has to show respect for this house. And in fact, it is worse that he was a member of Parliament. If he had just been plucked from the wilderness like some of the other people I see, maybe we would excuse him.
Mbadi's absence comes just a day after President William Ruto chaired the first meeting of his newly formed cabinet, focusing on key national priorities. His no-show follows his recent appearance before the Senate Committee on Finance and Budget on Tuesday, where he addressed the ongoing funding crisis facing counties. Mbadi's no-show is part of a growing trend where key cabinet secretaries have failed to appear before the Senate. Among them is Interior CS Kithure Kindiki, who skipped a session citing urgent national security matters, and former Health CS Susan Nakumicha, who also snubbed the Senate while facing questions about critical issues in the health sector. Other cabinet secretaries who have missed Senate summons include former Trade CS Moses Kuria, former ICT CS Elido Walo, former Energy CS Davis Chirchir, and former Labour CS Florence Bore. This continued pattern has raised concerns over the commitment of cabinet secretaries to their constitutional responsibilities. As the Senate continues to demand accountability, the repeated absence of key cabinet secretaries raises concerns about the commitment of the executive to parliamentary oversight.
I keep telling my friend Sifuna,
Kennedy Kimani, Hope TV Newswatch, Nairobi.
a good legislator.
That story from the Senate takes us to a fast short break here on Hope TV Newswatch. More news items are lined up for you in a short while. Don't go too far.
Rafiki soul is the promise of a hand that reaches and goes beyond what angaza tumaini kote. I'm forever grateful. Ninashukuru ukarimu, ukarimu. I'm forever grateful. Ninashukuru ukarimu, ukarimu. Rafiki soul is a promise of a hand that reaches and goes beyond what angaza tumaini kote. I'm forever grateful. Ninashukuru ukarimu, ukarimu. I'm forever grateful. Ninashukuru ukarimu, ukarimu. Rafiki soul.
Friends of Hope, keeping hope alive.
I've actually been trying to find a balance. It's been really tough and hectic, but everyone says once you get a hang of it, becomes better, and I don't know, but I'm hoping to find a balance soon because it's really been hectic. But you've been in the job industry for a long time, so I think you would know better. Sindio?
Huh? What time is it? I need to catch up on leadership forum. Did they have a radio here? Never mind. I brought my own.
No way. You can't be serious. Wait, why do you have a radio and you can just catch up with the shows on Hope FM podcast?
Really? Even Meet of the World?
I mean, you can find them on whatever platform, name it. AfriPods, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, you name it.
But I'm not subscribed on any of them.
So no worries. You can just check out the latest episodes on hopemediakenya.org.
You can now listen to select Hope FM programs on your favorite podcast streaming platform or directly on our website www.hopemediakenya.org. Listen and live.
Welcome back. Members of various university staff in Uasin Gishu County have joined the rest of the country on a nationwide strike. Staff of Moi University and the University of Eldoret staged separate protests to mark the first day of the strike that seeks to push the government to hasten the negotiations for the 2021 to 2025 collective bargaining agreement. They insist that they would not return to class until the CBA is signed. Now, lecturers at the Moi University have been on strike for 3 weeks now, demanding payment of their salary arrears.
Kiungana pamoja na wafanyikazi wengine wote wa vyuo vikuu vya Kenya mzima kwa sababu ya mgomo ambao umeanza rasmi siku ya leo. Huu mgomo ni wa kitaifa na makusudio makuu ni kwa sababu ya ule mkataba wa CBA wa 21-25 ambao serikali hadi wakati huu imedinda kuweza kuanzisha.
We have been negotiating CBA since 2020. Now this CBA we are negotiating is for the 2021-2025 cycle. The cycle is coming to an end before we finish negotiating a CBA. So if we finish this cycle, then we will not have negotiated our CBA. That means that we have to go on strike, and strike is the only language our employer seems to understand.
Wakati serikali inapoongezea watu wengine pesa, inatuacha kama watu wa university. Ndio sababu tumetoka nje kwa wingi na tutaendelea kukaa nje mpaka hii serikali ya Kenya Kwanza itusikize.
And so, as workers who serve the universities, there is no alternative than bringing a standstill so that the government comes to the table.
Would like to tell our students, for you to enjoy the future life, please pray for us. Pray for us to get this money. We have become demotivated. Our loans have not been paid. Universities like Moi University, Faulu, and the other banks are now attaching their property. KRA are after them. It is shameful. Sisi kama University of Eldoret, we have not signed the local CBA. 2013 up to now, 3 cycles until now. And because of the animal called SRC tutoe hii kitu. Sijui tutafanya referendum ama tufanya aje, because we are suffering. The president should hear this. SRC is doing a disservice to this nation. They are bringing obstacles to this nation. So as it stands, sisi tutakuwa nje. We are very sorry to our students.
Students at the Multimedia University are calling for justice for their colleague identified as Trevor Mabenge Mureithi, who was injured by anti-riot police during the protests yesterday. Led by the University Association's President Cheriot Ronald, the students visited the first-year student at the hospital where he was being treated for a fracture on his right ankle ahead of a surgery scheduled for tomorrow. Addressing the media, flanked by human rights activist Hussein Khalid, the students have called out the police for their brutality against the students who were protesting their institution's lack of response to their quest to improve the welfare of students. Our social media has been showing scenes of the alleged altercation, which shows 3 police officers descending on the student who had fallen on the ground. They then detonated a tear gas canister near him and left it exploding near his head. The students have vowed to continue the protest until the police officers are brought to book.
Justice! We want justice! We want justice! Power! Power! Comrades, justice for Trevor, justice now! 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 Comrades, yes. We are here today to stand in solidarity with Trevor and students of Multimedia University for the heinous attack, merely for exercising their constitutional right to demonstrate and to demand better services in their university. Comrades, power! Power! We are witnessing today the height of police brutality, the height of police cruelty, and the height of police impunity in Kenya.
So therefore, comrades, we gather here not only to express our outrage, but to demand for accountability. Comrades, power! Power! Trevor's injury is a clear violation of his rights and planted example of the excessive force used by police. Power! Power! Comrades, despite our peaceful protest, no one should ever have to fear for their safety when exercising their right of expression. Comrades,
genuinely still shocked, annoyed. I'm distraught of that video. I cannot get it off my head, okay? This is a blatant disregard for life. Hawa si wametuzoea.
Justice for Trevor! No retreat!
Over 2,000 elders from the Meru County, known as the Injuring Cheke, have announced their support for Interior and National Coordination Cabinet Secretary Kithure Kindiki as their link to the national government. The elders say they had severed ties with Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua due to what they called his divisive rhetoric, stating that it is time for Mount Kenya East to lead the Mount Kenya people, and praising Kindiki's leadership for fostering unity and development. CS Kindiki has been widely endorsed by various groups of leaders from the Mount Kenya region, including that diaspora, as the region continues to isolate the deputy president. Some international news now. Dozens of resistance fighters from Beirut and across Lebanon were injured after explosions occurred in their communication devices, mostly pagers, due to a cyber attack by Israel. Fighters and medics were seriously injured. According to local residents, the explosions went on for 30 minutes after the initial blast. A Hezbollah official who spoke to the media has termed the radio explosions as the biggest security breach in the past year. And Algerian President Abdelmadjid Tebboune has been sworn in for a second term after securing 84% of the vote in the presidential elections held earlier. Tebboune secured another 5-year term after winning 84.3% of votes in the presidential elections. The 78-year-old incumbent president first took office in 2019 following a political crisis. He has lauded his presidential election victory and outlined bold visions for Algeria's future.
To get Wewe ni Mungu by Evelyn Wanjiru as your Skiza tune, SMS the word Skiza 88300028 and send to 811. Hope Skiza, spreading the hope.
Umepigana vita zangu, nakupa ibada ya moyo wangu usiku wa leo.
Aya, amna Go TV stream? It's free.
Go TV stream iko mkononi na ni free. Download Go TV stream app for free. Enjoy live TV na shows kamia nane. Download and watch later anytime. Anywhere. Go TV stream iko mkononi na ni free. Available to active subscribers. Go TV. Love it.
This week on Testify.
Very regularly pray for my sister's marriage. Because both my parents were not there. They had gone to be with the Lord. And as the elder brother, it was my responsibility to ensure that she would settle down and get married. And so I would regularly pray for that. My personal conviction is that if we trust the Lord and wait upon Him, the Bible talks about the steps of a good person being ordered by the Lord.
Yes.
Psalms 37 and 23. And Romans 12:2, that you will know the good, the perfect, acceptable will of God.
Only on Hope TV. Look and live.
To some sports now. President William Ruto has commissioned the junior starlets as they head to the Dominican Republic for the FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup 2024. Speaking at the event at State House, Nairobi, the president said the sports ministry will spearhead the construction of necessary infrastructure to support sports in the country. He said going forward, the country will also focus on talents from primary and secondary schools to build the country's sports.
You have my support. 100%. And all the officials that will accompany this team, please look after these girls, and Kenya is waiting. We are a great sporting nation, as I have said, and sports is one thing that brings our country together. Asanteni sana for this feat. Bon voyage. My very best wishes, and see you soon when you come back home.
Your Excellency, this team are our small sisters. We have supported them for the last 2 years. We are proud of them. And as the women leaders, we're actually proud that for once, the women are the ones who are going to take Kenya to the World Cup. It's a very, very great thing. And I'd also like to just extend my appreciation to the Ministry of Sports and Education. When we raised our statement in Parliament requesting that the Ministry of Education allows them to do the exams after, they did accept that without any hesitation. So that's very good for the team.
Indeed, bon voyage to the team. And the highly anticipated NCBA Malindi Open and Vasco da Gama Cup will take place this weekend from the 20th to the 22nd of September at the Malindi Golf and Country Club course in Kilifi County. The 3-day 54-hole stroke play championship has drawn the amateurs from across the country, where the players will play in the first 2 rounds, after which the top 33 and ties will make the cut to the final round to be played on Sunday. Among the top contenders are Kenya's #1 golfer and also the defending champion of the event, Michael Karanga from Kiambu Golf Club, Lejerma from Railway Golf Club, and William Odek from Nyali Golf Club. NCBA Group Managing Director John Gashora said the total prize money for the tournament is 520,000 shillings, with the winners set to take home 130,000 Kenyan shillings. Additionally, the event will count towards the World Amateur Ranking Golf, WARG. And reigning African Rally champion Karan Patel will be clashing with top guns at the Rally International du Burundi from the 20th to the 22nd of September, the third leg of the 2024 African Rally Championship. The KCB racing team driver will be navigated by his longtime friend Tosif Khan in their Skoda R5 car. The duo intends to extend their impressive start of the season by winning a 3rd race after clinching Uganda and Zambia's rallies, respectively. The Continental Showpiece is expected to traverse 4 countries after events held in Uganda and Zambia, Tanzania, Burundi, Rwanda, and Kenya are still yet to host their competitions. That's how we end Newswatch tonight. Thank you for your usual company during this newscast. It's been my pleasure. My name is Melissa Oduor, together with Boniface Muredi on the sign language, Prince Charles on the scrolls, and Davies on the direction. Have a good night.